The Western Conference Finals have unfolded as a gripping saga of momentum swings, strategic gambits, and individual brilliance. The Oklahoma City Thunder, led by the newly crowned MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, have showcased their prowess, while the Minnesota Timberwolves, fueled by the dynamic Anthony Edwards, have battled fiercely to stay in contention. As the series stands at 3-1 in favor of the Thunder, each game has added layers to this compelling narrative. The series commenced with the Thunder asserting their dominance on home turf. In Game 1, after a closely contested first half, Oklahoma City unleashed a formidable second-half performance, outscoring Minnesota 70-40. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the charge with 31 points, 20 of which came in the latter half, demonstrating his clutch capabilities. Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren provided substantial support, contributing to a 10-0 run that shifted the momentum decisively. Game 2 mirrored this pattern. Despite Minnesota's efforts to keep pace, the Thunder's relentless defense and efficient offense proved overwhelming. Gilgeous-Alexander matched his playoff career high with 38 points, while Williams and Holmgren added 26 and 22 points, respectively. The Timberwolves struggled with turnovers, committing 14 that led to 31 Thunder points, highlighting a critical vulnerability. Reuters. These initial victories underscored the Thunder's strategic execution and depth, placing the Timberwolves in a challenging position as the series shifted to Minnesota. Just when it looked like the Thunder might sweep their way to the finals, Game 3 in Minnesota flipped the narrative. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Anthony Edwards, who had struggled to find his rhythm in the first two games, exploded with energy and purpose. The Timberwolves came out aggressive, feeding off the roar of the home crowd and the pressure of being down 0-2. But the turning point wasn't just offense, it was the defense. The Wolves clamped down hard, forcing the Thunder into tough shots and disrupting their usual fluid ball movement. Oklahoma City, which had been sharp and surgical in Games 1 and 2, suddenly looked rattled. Every drive was contested, every pass risky. And while Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still managed to score 33, it was far from easy. The Timberwolves rotated quickly, doubled smartly, and refused to let him get comfortable. Meanwhile, Edwards reminded everyone why he's being called the future of the league. He dropped 29 points, but more importantly, he took control, driving into the paint with confidence, drawing fouls, hitting mid-range jumpers, and firing up his teammates. Karl-Anthony Towns also finally came alive, spacing the floor and knocking down key threes that opened the lane for Edwards. But perhaps the biggest shock was how the Timberwolves bench stepped up. Naz Reid and Nickeil Alexander-Walker brought the energy, crashing boards, chasing loose balls, and making the hustle plays that don't always show up on the stat sheet, but win games. The Thunder tried to rally in the fourth, trimming a 15-point lead down to just 5, but Minnesota never broke. Their defense held firm, and with each stop, the momentum swelled. The final minutes felt like a war of wills, and in that moment, the Timberwolves wanted it more. Game 3 ended with Minnesota clawing their way back into the series and sending a loud message to the Thunder. This fight isn't over. The intensity of the series reached new heights in Game 4, as both teams understood that this was a battle, not just for a win, but for survival. The Timberwolves, fueled by their Game 3 comeback, came out with a renewed sense of urgency. Anthony Edwards was on fire again, driving fearlessly to the basket and attacking the rim with a ferocity that left the Thunder scrambling to contain him. Karl-Anthony Towns showed why he's the backbone of Minnesota, stepping up on both ends of the court with crucial rebounds and timely three-pointers that kept the Wolves ahead. But the Thunder refused to back down. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continued his relentless scoring, weaving through defenders and hitting clutch shots under pressure. Oklahoma City's role players also rose to the occasion, with key contributions from their bench that kept the game tight. The back-and-forth nature of the game created a nerve-wracking atmosphere where every possession felt like it could swing. The momentum. The defenses tightened as the clock wound down, each team battling to make the crucial stops that could secure the victory. In the final minutes, it was clear this game would be decided by who could handle the pressure better. The Timberwolves' resilience shone through once more, as Edwards delivered clutch plays down the stretch, and Towns sealed the deal with a critical block and a basket in transition. The crowd erupted, sensing that their team had taken control of the series. The Thunder, though defeated, showed heart and determination, promising that the battle was far from over. Game 4 was a thrilling showcase of grit and talent, proving that this series would be remembered for years to come. The series had already set a blazing pace, but Game 5 elevated the intensity to an entirely different level, where every pass, every shot, and every rebound carried the weight of destiny. Both the Thunder and the Timberwolves knew that the stakes couldn't be higher. One more win would bring a commanding advantage, and the pressure was crushing. From the opening tip, the energy in the arena was electric, with fans on the edge of their seats fully aware that this was more than just basketball. It was a war for pride, momentum, and a step closer to playoff glory. The Timberwolves leaned heavily on their stars, with Anthony Edwards once again stepping into the spotlight. His fearless drives and sharp shooting kept the Wolves in front, but it was Karl-Anthony Towns who truly showcased his leadership in this crucial matchup. Towns dominated the paint on both offense and defense, grabbing rebounds, drawing fouls, and hitting his shots with cold precision. But the Thunder refused to let the game slip away without a fight. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continued to dazzle, slicing through the Timberwolves' defense with an agility and skill that seemed almost unstoppable. His ability to create scoring opportunities out of thin air kept the Thunder within striking distance throughout the game. Oklahoma City's supporting cast also contributed key moments. Some unexpected players stepped up to provide vital buckets, demonstrating the depth and resilience of the team. The back-and-forth scoring made the game feel like a high-wire act. With the lead changing hands multiple times, defensive intensity reached fever pitch as both teams fought tooth and nail to force turnovers and control the tempo. The game's physicality was palpable. Hard screens, fierce rebounding battles, and contested shots defined every minute. The Timberwolves' young core showed maturity beyond their years, executing crisp passes and playing with a chemistry that unsettled the Thunder's defense. Meanwhile, the Thunder's grit and determination were evident in every hustle play, diving for loose balls, contesting every shot, and battling to the last second. As the final quarter ticked down, tension exploded. The game was tied, the clock winding down, and every possession felt like the final moment. Edwards found a way to draw a critical foul, sinking clutch free throws that gave Minnesota a slim lead. Towns then answered with a thunderous dunk that sent shockwaves through the arena, fueling the Timberwolves' momentum. But Shai wasn't done. He responded with a dazzling drive and a perfectly timed step-back jumper that cut the lead. The crowd was on its feet, the noise deafening, every fan holding their breath. The closing moments were a brutal test of nerves. Minnesota's defense tightened, forcing the Thunder into difficult shots, while Edwards and Towns executed plays with surgical precision. In the end, the Timberwolves edged out a hard-fought victory, taking a 3-2 series lead that put them on the brink of a series win. But the Thunder's resolve remained unbroken, signaling that Game 6 would be an all-out battle for survival. This game wasn't just about points or stats. It was a heart-stopping chapter in a saga defined by passion, determination, and an unyielding will to win. The Thunder versus Timberwolves rivalry had proven it was much more than a matchup. It was a war of wills where every moment mattered and every player left everything on the court. The pressure now shifts dramatically as the series moves to Game 6, where everything hangs in the balance. With the Timberwolves leading 3-2, the Thunder face the ultimate test, a must-win situation to avoid elimination. The stakes could not be higher, and the intensity on both sides is almost unbearable. The Thunder have shown throughout the series that they can fight back against the odds, but now they must summon every ounce of strength, skill, and mental toughness to keep their season alive. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been the undeniable force for Oklahoma City, carrying the team on his shoulders with breathtaking plays and relentless energy. His ability to break down defenses, find teammates in perfect spots, and deliver clutch baskets will be even more crucial as the Timberwolves bring everything they have to close out the series. But it's not just about Shai. The supporting cast must rise to the occasion like never before. Players who have had quieter moments in the series need to find their rhythm, knock down open shots, and play scrappy defense. The Thunder's resilience is their greatest weapon, and it will be tested like never before in this do-or-die game. On the other side, the Timberwolves are filled with confidence but also face the pressure of finishing what they started. Anthony Edwards has emerged as a superstar in this series, dazzling with his fearless drives and clutch shooting. His swagger and youthful energy have inspired the Wolves and given them a clear edge. Karl Anthony Towns remains the cornerstone, dominating the paint with his size and skill, relentlessly attacking the basket and protecting the rim. But Minnesota can't rely solely on their stars. Role players must continue to contribute by hitting key shots, grabbing rebounds, and playing tough defense. The Timberwolves will be well aware that the Thunder will throw everything at them to force a Game 7, so every player must be ready to step up under pressure. As Game 6 tips off, the atmosphere will be electric, a cauldron of noise and nerves. Every possession, every shot, every defensive stop will feel monumental. The coaches' strategies will be scrutinized, with adjustments on both ends of the floor designed to exploit weaknesses and capitalize on strengths. The mental game is as important as the physical one, staying composed under pressure, making smart decisions, and seizing opportunities when they arise. The Thunder versus Timberwolves matchup has become more than just a playoff series. It's a clash of wills, a battle for pride and legacy. Each game has brought moments of brilliance, heartbreak, and suspense, capturing the attention of fans across the league. Now, with the series on the line, the tension is almost unbearable. Will the Timberwolves close out the series and advance, or will the Thunder mount a dramatic comeback to force a decisive Game 7? The answers will come on the court, where heroes will be made, legends will be born, and one team's dream will continue while the other faces the crushing reality of defeat. Every fan, every player, every coach knows this. Nothing will be given, everything must be earned, and this series will be remembered for its fierce competition and thrilling drama. As the final showdown approaches, one thing is certain. The Thunder versus Timberwolves story is far from over, and the best is yet to come. The Thunder and Timberwolves rivalry has already shaken the NBA to its core, but the story is far from over. As we look ahead, the stakes only get higher. Both teams are at pivotal crossroads that could define their futures for years to come. For Oklahoma City, the Thunder have built their identity around a young core led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, whose leadership and skill have turned him into one of the league's brightest stars. But this season has revealed the challenges of balancing raw talent with the experience needed to close out critical games. Every win, every loss has been a lesson in resilience, a harsh reminder that potential alone isn't enough to break through the toughest defenses and pressure moments. For the Thunder, this series is not just about winning a few playoff games. It's about proving that their rebuild is on the right track, that their young core can rise in clutch moments without folding under pressure. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves have been a different kind of story. Minnesota, with Karl Anthony Towns commanding the paint and Anthony Edwards dazzling on the perimeter, have flirted with greatness, but have often fallen short when the spotlight shines brightest. Their matchup with Oklahoma City is more than a battle of talent. It's a test of their mental toughness, their ability to harness the electric energy of the crowd, and the weight of expectations from a fan base hungry for playoff success. Every game feels like a make-or-break moment where the Timberwolves must decide if they are destined to be a team that contends or one that fades away when it matters most. What makes this rivalry so gripping is the undeniable tension between raw potential and the harsh realities of the playoff grind. Each possession feels loaded with meaning. Each turnover or missed shot is magnified under the unforgiving spotlight. The coaches are locked in tactical warfare, adjusting lineups and strategies like chess masters, each move calculated to outsmart and outlast the other. For the fans watching, this is more than basketball. It's a saga filled with heart-stopping moments and emotional highs and lows. But beyond the court, the ripple effects are felt throughout the league. The outcome of this series could reshape draft priorities, influence trade decisions, and even alter the trajectory of the franchise's culture. Young players on both sides are learning lessons that go beyond scoring and defense. They're discovering what it means to compete at the highest level, how to handle pressure, and how to lead when everything is on the line. This crucible of competition will forge or fracture careers. What's also fascinating is how this rivalry encapsulates a larger NBA narrative about the new generation of stars rising to challenge the established order. The Thunder and Timberwolves aren't just fighting for a series win, they're battling to be recognized as forces that will shape the league's future. The outcomes here will echo in contract negotiations, fan loyalties, and media narratives for months, even years to come. And with every buzzer beater and game-winning shot, the suspense only deepens. No one can predict with certainty who will ultimately emerge victorious. Injuries, momentum swings, and sheer willpower will all play crucial roles. But one thing is clear. Both teams have poured their hearts into this fight, making it a defining moment not only for their franchises, but for every fan who's witnessed this thrilling showdown. As the series continues, the world watches with bated breath, knowing that these games will be remembered as battles where legends were born, dreams were tested, and the true meaning of determination was revealed. This is more than a game. It's a story of hope, struggle, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Thunder vs. Timberwolves has already carved its place in NBA history, but the final chapters are yet to be written, and they promise to be unforgettable.